Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Sundays in Song. Today I'm speaking with Michael Rickelton, who was our 2016-2017 Composer-in-Residence and was also a singer here at St. David's. Michael is an active composer, conductor, and educator here in Baltimore, and thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to come here and talk a little bit about your piece.
Thank you, Doug.
I was so excited when you sent me the drafts of Into the Darkest Hour when you initially wrote it in 2016, because it has text by Madeleine L'Engle, which you set really, really evocatively, as you do with all of your choral works. I just was curious, how did you find the text, and how did you go about digging into it? Because you do a really good job of illuminating it in some beautiful ways.
So I found the text in a book of poetry. I honestly can't remember. I stumbled across it.
Sure.
You look for text and you go to Google and you search for key terms and everything.
Yeah.
So I came across some of her poetry, which I had never read before.
Yeah.
And this one jumped out at me because it's two completely different images. There are the verses that are about tumult and war and anger and ugliness. And then the verses that look to the coming of Christ as a return to simplicity, comforting. And so that juxtaposition of two contrasting images, I not only appreciated sort of the prose, but really lent itself to interesting musical treatment.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that you juxtapose it, I mean, in all senses, that they are completely contrasting. And I'm just from a compositional point of view, I'm curious which popped into your brain first, like which was, and this was a while ago, so you might not recall, but I always think it's interesting which kernel sort of pops out first.
I think it was the final couple lines where it's the image of just sort of the rocking baby Jesus in the manger, and really that image with the very first line, which is this sort of it was a time like this, war and tumult of war. And that beginning and ending image, which are complete opposites of each other, and how that ending image of just the simplicity of a baby, which is there to serve the purpose of eradicating the beginning.
Yeah. Those are two, there's striking moments throughout the entire thing, but that juxtaposition is carried through so well, where you have these opening sort of riotous scales that are going through the texture, and then again, as you say, this sort of rocking gesture that you have, which is very, it's just chords kind of juxtaposed against each other and just sort of moving back and forth. The dissonance becomes just part of that rocking motion and is very, very effective. And
I think, to me, I hear the rocking as sort of the the relationship of the voices that are in unison, and the women, particularly lower in the register, and coming in and out of consonance and dissonance with those chords in the piano.
Yeah.
And if looking at meter, some of the text is off the beat.
Yeah.
But it's sort of that entering when something else is still moving, sort of rocky motion that for me is sort of the which ends up being the culmination of the piece, and just sort of that simplicity of this tiny child, which is much more than a tiny child.
Which then unfolds in its own way. Well, we're really excited to dive back into this. What are some of the other projects that you're working on right now?
So I'm working on a very large song project down in Norfolk.
Cool.
That has been in the works for a couple years now. Most of that work is sort of the administrative side of can this actually happen, sort of stuff. But there's a wonderful memorial down by the water in Norfolk, the Armed Forces Memorial, that is 22 letters cast in bronze from written by soldiers sent home who died a few days after sending the letters. So these were curated by artists in 1998 or 1999, I can't remember exactly. And so it's 22 letters spanning 1776 to 2009, I think was the last letter. And so I'm setting those 22 letters.
Wow.
I finished 4. And those first 4, along with sort of some a piano prelude and some interludes interspersed with it, will be premiered in February as part of a short residence at Old Dominion University. And then the completion of those will sort of be stretched out over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So that's been the big thing
That's
played so far.
That's a huge project. I mean, you don't shy away from big projects. I mean, because you've done the Tenebrae responsories.
Yeah.
You've done big things. You've delved into really emotional material with your past stuff that has been performed here for Veterans Day, and that you also have a CD of Time and Memory, and that's that's really exciting to hear the next big project, and I'm excited to hear that because you set text and poetry with real sensitivity and intention, and it's always a joy to bring it to life.
Well, thank you. It's fun. It's a lot of hard work, but it's what I love to do.
Thanks so much. Well, thank you so much for being here, Michael. We're looking forward to singing your music on Sunday as the start of Advent 2023. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Doug.